Good morning, children. So I'm starting the next topic of the interference and bits chapter, that is formation of bits in sound waves. What do you mean by the term bit? That first you understand. When two sound waves of nearly equal frequencies, this is the point you have to remember. Their frequencies should be nearly equal, not exactly equal, just like a case of interference. Okay. Moving in the same direction, superposed on each other, then what happens? Intensity of the resultant sound, it rises and falls alternately. Means the intensity of sound increases and decreases alternately with time. So this rise and fall in the intensity of sound is known as phenomena of bits. So you must learn the definition of bits. Then one rise and one fall together form one bit. Okay, and the number of bits produced in 1 second is called bit frequency. Now, unlike the interference, we have to do the analytical method for the formation of bits. But these are the 3 points I have written on the whiteboard. You must copy it and learn it, prepare it for your exam. So you see the two interfering waves, not two interference, the superposing wave, you can write as A sin omega 1 t kx and it is omega 2. Why? I have not taken omega t kx, omega t kx here because their frequencies are different. So when frequency will be different, omega is 2 pi into frequency, so omega 1 and omega 2 will be different. Now if you consider the observation point, means where the two waves are superposing at x is equal to 0. Just for our sake of simplicity of calculation we are doing this. Then you see y1 will become a sine omega 1, you can write 2 pi n1t, and omega 2 you can write it as sine 2 pi into t. Is that clear? So you see what will be, according to principle of superposition, what will be the resultant displacement y1 plus y2. So you can write it, you can take a common, it will be sine 2 pi n1t plus sine 2 pi into t. Is that clear? Now sine c plus sine d is 2 sine c plus d by 2 and cos c minus d by 2. So you see you can write it as 2 sine 2 pi n1 t plus 2 pi into t by 2 into cos 2 pi n1 t minus 2 pi into t by 2. So you may write it as 2 cos, you see you can take pi common, n1, here I am giving the difference sign because we don't know which frequency is bigger. N1 difference, and then you can write it as sine pi n1 plus n2 into t. Is that clear? So if you consider the 2 cos pi, this one as the amplitude, let us consider this is the amplitude A of the resultant wave. Then you see you can write it as n1 into t. So what is the amplitude? Amplitude of the resultant wave. Amplitude of the resultant is given by 2 cos pi n1 minus n2 into t. Is that clear? So you see, as amplitude, it is a function of cos, and cos varies between a minimum and maximum value. So what will happen? Resultant intensity is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. So as amplitude will vary with cosine, so intensity will also vary between a maximum and minimum value. Now we have to find out what are the conditions for maximum intensity and minimum intensity. The simple mathematics that for maximum amplitude or intensity, the cos should be maximum. Maximum means either plus 1 or minus 1. Here lies the difference. For interference, maximum was only plus 1. Minus 1 for minimum we took. But in this case, it should be plus minus both. Plus means in the positive direction and negative means in the opposite direction. So you see, if cos pi is plus minus 1, it means that it should be k pi, it should be either 0, k should be 0 or 1, 2, 3, so on. So from this relation it is clear at what time maximum will occur, k by n1 minus n2. So if you put the values, then what are you getting? T is 0. When the time is 0, maximum will occur. Then 1 by n1 minus n2, maximum will occur. K is 2, so 2 by n1 minus n2. K is 3, 3 by n1 minus n2. So this is the point you are supposed to learn and remember for your exam. Is that clear? This is the condition for maximum intensity. So like that, and these are the time when the maximum intensity will get. Now, for minimum amplitude or intensity, cosine function should be 0. So this is here lies the point between interference and bit. For interference, minimum was when minus 1. But in this case, it should be 0. So you see, when cosine function is 0, when it is a odd multiple of pi by 2. So k should be 1, 3, 5, so on. Here you see k is 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. But in this case, k. So this is the condition for minimum intensity. You are supposed to learn and remember. So if you put the values of k, then you are getting at time 1 by 2 n1 minus n2, 3 by 2 n1 minus n2, 5 by 2 n1 minus 2, that minimum intensity will occur. Now, if you consider both the timing together, then you see, first 0 will come, okay, then half will come, then 1 will come, then 3 by 2 means 1 and half. So first 0 maximum, then half minimum, then 1 maximum, then 1 and half minimum, then 2 maximum, then 2 and half minimum, then 3 maximum. Means what? Alternate maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum. This is the way the sound will be produced. Okay. So, these are the analytical method for understanding the bits. So, from the previous discussion, what we have seen, that one rise and one fall, that is one beat is produced in how much time? 1 by n1 minus n2. So, you see what will be the bit frequency, means number of bit produced in 1 second. It will be 1 upon time period. This is the time period. So, 1 upon time period means n1 minus n2. Here, I prefer to give the different sign because we don't know which one is bigger. Alright. Now this concept of bit is used to determine the unknown frequencies of tuning fork. While discussing the numericals, I will just tell you how to do that. And it is also used in tuning the musical instrument. Alright. So that's all regarding the bit. So what are the probable question? Show that bit frequency n1 minus n2 hertz. Okay, you may get the question that 3 marks or 5 marks question. Show that bit frequency is given by n1 minus n2 hertz. Then you have to start with y1 is equal to a sin omega 1t minus kx. Then all the entire derivation you have to write as an answer. Okay, so you are supposed to learn and practice the derivation for bits. Then the last topic is what are the differences between interference and bits. So what are the differences between interference and bits? In interference also alternate maxima minimas are produced, but alternate maxima and minima are produced at different points at the same time. Okay, but in case of bit, at the same point alternate maxima and minima are produced. So what is the first point of difference? Intensity of sound at every point remain constant with time. If at this point it is maximum, at this point it is minimum, always here will be maximum, here will be minimum. But in case of bits, intensity of sound at every point changes with time. Means what? Suppose at the position of 7 now it is maximum. Then at the same position after some time it will be minimum. Then again after some time it will be maximum, like this. Okay. Then second is that two superposing waves have exactly same frequency. I hope you can remember. We wrote omega t minus kx for y1 also, for y2 also. But they have slightly different amplitude. I hope you can remember. y1 I wrote a1 sine omega t minus kx, and y2 I wrote a2 sine omega t minus kx plus phi. Means it is having a phase difference constant with time. Is that clear for interference? But for bits, what we have got, that they are having exactly same amplitude, but they are having slightly different frequencies. Alright, so that's all about this chapter, and this last topic is very important for your exam, that what are the differences between interference and bits. You please learn and practice, and also practice the analytical method to show that bit frequency is equal to N1 minus N2 hertz. Thank you, children.